You're listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.
Welcome to this custom-tailored deep dive just for you, the ever-curious learner. Today, we are synthesizing a stack of 6 Seoul Economic Daily reports from June 23, 2026.
Yeah, we're basically trying to decode Korea's, sharply bifurcating early career economy and, what that massive split actually means for your financial future.
Right. So let me start with just an absolute jaw-dropper from the sources. Samsung is actually paying researchers on academic leave up to 300 million won.
Which is roughly, like $196K?
Exactly, $196K, just to, not drop out of their PhDs early.
Right.
I mean, okay, let's unpack this. It's like paying someone a massive fortune just to finish eating their vegetables because the dessert on the table is too tempting.
That's a great way to put it, because they were quitting to collect these projected 600 million won performance bonuses. But what's fascinating here is that this isn't just random corporate generosity, right?
Right.
It's driven by a fixed 10.5% profit-sharing rule.
Oh, between management and the union.
Exactly. So it makes tech compensation literally outcompete graduate degrees. But since those massive tech premiums are locked into specific sectors, we have to look at the severe contrast facing the rest of the workforce.
Yeah, the ground reality is it's just a completely different world. Look at the 2027 minimum wage negotiation that just opened. It started with a record-breaking 1,681 gap.
That is massive.
Right. Labor wants a 16.3% hike to 12,001, and management proposes a hard freeze at 10,321.
And this broad economic squeeze really fuels a rising debt crisis. I mean, the sources show defaults hitting 935,800 in 2025.
Wait, so what does this all mean for early career professionals actively carrying debt right now?
Well, there is a major trap you have to watch out for. Predatory law firms are charging 3 to 4 million won for debt restructuring.
Wait, really? Just for restructuring?
Yeah, and sometimes pushing 20% interest loans just to cover their own legal fees. And the kicker is that the government agency, Simbokwi, they provide that exact same service entirely for free.
Oh, that is just brutal. So, surviving this economic split requires looking really closely at long-term financial infrastructure, right? And where future growth is actually heading.
Absolutely. Especially when you consider retirement.
Yeah, the National Pension Service chairman, he's making a massive push to enter the 300 trillion won pension market. Because right now, private funds are delivering maybe 3% returns, but charging 2% fees.
Which is basically a near zero net gain for workers.
Exactly.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, though, the government is already building a linkage framework between Motpandu and the National Growth Fund to finance the next wave of infrastructure.
And Motpandu is like a fund of funds.
Yeah, exactly. It's a massive state-backed pool of capital. And this aligns with the World Economic Forum's top 2026 technologies, which they dubbed HERO.
Right, HERO. So that stands for healthcare, energy, resources, and optimization.
You got it. So the big takeaway here is that the gap between those tech boom winners and the broader economy, it actively dictates your career mobility and financial planning right now.
So true. I mean, you have to navigate these systemic traps like the predatory debt fees and try to position yourself near those high-growth HERO sectors.
Exactly. The rules of wealth building are splitting based entirely on the industry you're in.
Which leaves us with a slightly unsettling thought to wrap up today's deep dive. As HERO technologies create even more specialized, hyper-profitable infrastructure layers, will the traditional concept of a single national minimum wage soon become completely obsolete?
That's a really great question.
Yeah, like, are we being forced into entirely separate sector-specific economies? Definitely something to mull over as you plot your next career move.
You've been listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.